Hello future doctors, embryo is back with third week story. Most important events will occur in this third week. Those are gastrulation, primitive streak formation, notochord development and neurulation. In the second week story, we have seen up to day 13. In this third week, we can see changes here where ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm will form, which is called the gastrulation process. Gastrulation is the changes occurs in the epiblast and hypoblast, that is bilaminar germ disk will transfer into trilaminar germ disk, which will contain ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Let us see the changes in the embryonic germ disk. Let us consider this is as bilaminar germ disk, that is hypoblast epiblast, also called endoderm and ectoderm. Here in the endoderm, the cuboidal cells will change into columnar cells, that is called prochordal plate. It will be in the head end of the endoderm. Now at the tail end, there will be a primitive streak in the epiblast. This is the primitive node from where the epiblast cells will migrate and forms the mesoderm. On day 16, the proper gastrulation process will start. Mesoderm will form in between the epiblast and the hypoblast by this process. Epiblast cells move inwards to form new cell layers, that is endoderm and mesoderm. Cells that do not migrate through the streak but remains in the epiblast forms the ectoderm. Here you can see outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm and inner endoderm. On day 17, notochord formation will occur. It will be formed by several processes in the center of the mesoderm. Those are notochordal process, notochordal canal, then it will form notochordal plate. At last, definitive notochord will be formed. Let us see the changes in the sagittal section. That is epiblast, now ectoderm. This is hypoblast, now endoderm. The cells from the primitive node will migrate under the ectoderm by forming the primitive pit or blastopore. Now the notochordal process will form under the ectoderm. We can see the notochordal process, which is formed by the migration of the primitive streak cells through the primitive node. Now a canal will be formed in the notochordal process, which is called notochordal canal. If we cut this embryonic disc in sagittal section, we can see the process very clearly. Here we can see the notochordal process. From the primitive node, the notochordal canal will be formed like this. Now let us see the formation of neuroenteric canal. It will be formed by the degenerating endoderm and floor of the notochordal canal, which will form a communication between the amniotic cavity and the yolk sac, which will help to get the nutrition for further development of the embryo. Now the notochordal plate will be formed by intercalation of the notochordal cells with the endodermal cells. Now finally the definitive notochord will be formed by the notochordal plate infolding. Here you can see the neuroenteric canal formation in the sagittal section. Now, from day 18 to day 21, the formation of the neural tube will occur. That is called neurulation process. From 16th to 19th day, the neuroectoderm is formed on the dorsal aspect of the embryonic disc in the midline. Under the inductive effect of the notochord, the neuroectoderm soon becomes thickened to form the neural plate. These neural crust cells are specialized cells which will form several structures later in the life. Now the neural groove and the folds will be formed in the neural plate by forming a depression in the midline. Here the somites will be formed from the mesoderm, which will be explained later. This is the neural groove. These are neural crust cells. And this is the neural folds. The two edges of the neural folds come nearer to each other and eventually fuse to form the neural tube. So, the summary of the third week is gastrulation, which will start with primitive streak formation, then primitive node, then ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Secondly, notochord formation, which contains notochordal process formation, then notochordal canal, then it will turn into notochordal plate, at last definitive notochord. Finally, the neural tube formation will start with the neuroectoderm formation, then neural plate, neural groove, and then neural tubes. I hope you like my story till now, and let me meet you in the next video. If you like it, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for listening.